In this video, we are going to discuss about STP elections. So, in STP elections, how a root bridge is elected, how a root port is elected and how a designated port is elected. And first of all, we have to know that what is the purpose of 802.1d spanning tree, and its purpose is to into efficient stable configuration in where there are no redundant layer 2 paths throughout the network is enabled. That means if you see that this spanning tree is to settle into a very good environment, like efficient stable configuration is already established, as well as no redundant layer 2 paths throughout the network is available, and also any redundant links are put into a block state. So, any redundant link which are available or which are existing are put into a block state here. And you see that 802.1w which is called as a rapid STP, rapid spanning tree protocol, and 802.1s which is multiple spanning tree protocol has the same overall purpose, but you see they have some design differences aimed at lower traffic disruption. That means you see this spanning tree, rapid spanning tree and multiple spanning trees are for only the same purpose, but here if you see there are only some design differences and also about the lowering of the traffic disruption when a respan occurs here. And it is not the goal of this high level document to explain clearly about these differences in detail, but to show or to tell you how this root bridge is elected, root port is elected, and as well as designated port is elected here. If you see that these algorithms are having a following set of election rules here. So, what are these election rules? So, for each task or subsequent rules are only used in order to break this existing rule. So, for each task as well as the subsequent rules or lettered rules are only used to break an existing tie and show the prevailing ones here. And also when there is a clear winner, no further rule of examination is required. We will see the rules what exactly for the root bridge here. So, if you see the root bridge election for the whole network, there is exactly one root bridge for the network and also for the spanning tree instance here. If you see here local bridge ID, so what based on this local bridge ID the root bridge is elected. So, what is local bridge ID? It is the bridge priority plus the MAC address and lowest one prevails. So, the lowest bridge ID as well as the MAC address gives you the root bridge election here. So, coming to the root port election here, each non-root port bridge has exactly one root port which represents the best path to the root bridge. So, if there is a root bridge here, a root bridge switch here, so we will be having a root port connected to this root bridge from the different switch. So, non-root bridge switch has exactly one root port to connect the best path to the root bridge here, and total path cost to root. So, this one the lowest one prevails. That means you see what exactly this total path cost to root means, that is local root port cost that added upon receipt of configuration that you receive from the BPDUs and on that port from the different direction of the root bridge. That means if you see here the local root port cost for that particular bridge upon receipt, that means we get the configuration of BPDUs from the adjacent switches and about that port and from the direction of the root bridge. So, from the direction of the root bridge, the port connected to the other switch will give you the clear idea of total path cost to the root here. And coming to connected bridge ID. So, what is connected bridge ID? The lowest one prevails of the bridge ID which is chosen among the other bridge IDs also. So, connected port ID, that means which is port priority plus port number. So, port priority plus port number, which one lowest prevails will be taken as an election rule here for the root port election, as well as local port ID, which one is the lowest one prevails as a rule for electing the root port election here. So, coming to the designated bridge election, there is exactly one designated bridge given access to each LAN segment here. And coming to the total path cost to root, which one lower one prevails is taken as an election rule, and that is only root cost is relevant here, only is taken as a rule. So, coming to local bridge ID, which is bridge priority plus MAC address. So, the lowest one prevails and it is chosen as a rule to select the designated bridge election. So coming to here, if you see that the designated port election on designated bridge, if you take, this is exactly one designated port giving access to the each LAN segment. So you will be having a designated port only one, and will be having access to the each LAN segment. So this also depends upon the local port ID, which is the port priority plus port number. This both combinedly will give you the local port ID, which is the lowest one. It takes as a rule, and then the designated port is elected on the designated bridge here. So coming, if you see, the configuration of BDPUs are not transmitted but are received here. So if you see this BPDUs that only not transmitted but also received are no user traffic passes. So here no user traffic passes. These BPDUs are messages or advertisements sent, so that it is not only transmitted but also received. Based on this also the election will be considered and elected here. These represent redundant links. Port rule elections may be recalculated at any time. That means this also represents the redundant links, and also here you see port role elections may be considered and recalculated at any time here. And also a LAN segment may support anything from single user on up to groups of switches and whole networks. So if you see here clearly, a LAN segment may support anything from a single user also on up to the groups of switches or whole numbers, and also to entire network here. That means here this LAN segment, when considering not only a single user but also the entire network, will be depending upon the spanning tree and elections on it, and how the spanning tree works will be looking after in the next videos.